everybody. Welcome back to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. I'm the host and the judge, Al Reynolds. And before we dive into tonight's explosive docket, I want to start the evening with an apology. And I want to try to be as sincere as I possibly can. All right. Over the past few months, I've heard your concerns, I've read your feedback, and I also understand some of your frustrations. Hold on, guys. Give me a second because I don't want anything to interrupt what I'm trying to say. Someone is trying to get in here. Okay. So let me say, over the past few months, I've heard your concerns, I've read your feedback, and I understand the frustrations. Okay. As the face of this show, I owe it to each and every one of you to be transparent right now. All right. I have not been as hands on as I should have been when it comes to the production quality and the content of this show. I just been so busy. I trusted the process. I also trusted my fans. But you know what? I neglected my duty to ensure that each episode was the best possible version for you, for my panel of lawyers, because you are a loyal audience and I really appreciate each of you. For that, I want to say I'm really sorry. You deserve better. And guess what? Moving forward, I will personally oversee every detail to guarantee that this show not only informs, but engages you and entertains you. Because here on this show, my goal, my purpose, my why in life is to teach you, whether it's the law using celebrities as backdrops or whatever content that comes out from this side. I want to teach, I want to entertain, and that's what I hope that I will continue to do with you, but on a better level starting tonight. All right. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say I'm truly sorry, and I promise to do better. I definitely love all of you guys for supporting me ever since of my transition from TGIF. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize, and I want to do better for you. All right. With that being said, let's get started. All right, everybody. So in Celebrity Court tonight, we're covering cases that transcend celebrity gossip. These are stories of power, privilege, violence, justice, and the uncomfortable truths we must all confront, whether we're a celebrity or not. So let's ask the real question. When the rich and famous face the law, do they play by the same rules as the rest of us? Well, guess what? Here in Celebrity Court, we're going to see if it's true or false. Joining me tonight, I have a stacked courtroom tonight with all of the lawyers from beginning to now. So let me take a little bit of time and introduce my legal beagles. First up, our criminal defense attorney. Yes, you heard me correctly. The criminal defense attorney straight out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Attorney Brian Ross is back here tonight on Celebrity Court. Brian Ross, welcome to Celebrity Court. I think you're on mute.
I missed you as much as you missed me.
We definitely miss you, Brian. And so we understand you were in Peru. How was it?
Peru was fantastic. If you get the chance to go. Right. The food is going to make you unbelievably happy. Great.
Is it expensive?
No. I caught a taxi cab from Lima to a beach city called Paracas, 3 hours away, and it was $136.
Oh, that's that rich people money. Oh, it's only $136. That's a lot of money to me.
If I was rich, I'd have a haircut like yours. Calm down.
Everybody, please throw that daggone briefcase emoji in the chat for criminal defense attorney Brian Ross. Joining Brian Ross on the panel tonight is that fiery little piece of fire emoji, Shatan Turner, civil attorney Shatan Turner. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey, Your Honor. Hey, Algorators. I'm just glad to be back with Attorney Ross. I've missed him.
She's throwing her dust, baby. Beware. She's throwing her dust. She's throwing her dust. All right. Somebody that we haven't seen in a long time, Ashley Carter, attorney Ashley Carter. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey. Hi, everybody. The
Entertainment Esquire.
Yes.
Also, she is of the Legal Beagles, the Beyonce Beehive representative.
Yes, I am. I will be fighting the case tonight.
Clark Carter, welcome back. Also joining us is shit they taught you in law school. Shit they didn't. Shit they taught you in law school. Shit they didn't.
They
What
didn't teach you in law school.
Yeah,
Oh, didn't teach you. Oh, okay. Didn't teach you in law school. Author and attorney Jason Weiss, welcome back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm the star.
Oh, that's right. Don't forget the blue star, right?
No, not blue, just a yellow, like a star.
A yellow star. Don't forget to throw the star emoji in there for the Entertainment Esquire. And for Jason Weiss, don't forget to throw the shield. And last but definitely not least, pulling up the rear, humorous at law, Sean Carter. Welcome back to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion.
I'm glad to be here. By the way, I do not co-sign that apology. Everything I've done on the show has been wonderful. So get this my ass.
Well, all the slips you've been talking about, sir. And not to mention your condom fiasco. We won't talk about that. All right, everybody. Court is now in session.
Your Honor, you're the fax machine. Got to drop that.
Oh,
Got to
yeah,
drop
don't forget
it.
the fax machine.
Thank
We got
you,
a
Your
lot
Honor.
going on today. All right, everybody. This is the hottest topic on the docket tonight. Jay-Z and Diddy were accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl at the 2000 MTV after party. The lawsuit coincided with the premiere of Mufasa, The Lion King, which was featuring Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy. The emotional strain was immense, described by Jay-Z as feeling like a gun to his head. The lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice on February 14th, which just happened to be Valentine's Day, revealing inconsistencies. Jay-Z then countersued attorney Tony Busby for extortion, defamation, and emotional distress. Rock's Nation reportedly lost $20 million annually due to the fallout. Now, I don't know how that happened so fast, but I'm going to start with you, Attorney Carter, since you know you're the representative from the Beehive. Tell me, Attorney Carter, what legal protection exists for public figures against false allegations? And how can the average person apply those safeguards in their own life?
So what we're looking at here is, so he is suing attorney Busby for defamation, extortion, and emotional distress. When you're a public figure, typically there is a higher standard of what people can say. People can actually say a lot about you before you can sue for defamation. But in the case of defamation per se, if you are accused of a crime or something sexual and or drugs, anything in those categories, it allows you to sue for defamation per se. And you actually don't even have to prove damages. Here was interesting. He's like, I don't have to prove damages, but I actually have real damages I can show you. I can show you that I lost $20 million and probably in counting and contracts, because during this time, because I think they filed it back in November.
It felt like it was only like 2 months.
Yeah, it's only been about 2 months. But I mean, one contract could be $5 million. We don't know how much his contracts are, but I'm sure he has evidence to show in that relevant time frame what he lost. I also think, because some people are like, well, just let it go. Like, they dismissed the case. Why go after the attorney? It's because you have to let people know, F around and find out. That is what he is doing. You cannot come after a $1 billion machine. Him and Jay-Z, my cousin through marriage, Beyonce, Giselle knows Carter. You cannot come after a $1 billion machine and accuse them of something so heinous, raping a 13-year-old girl. And this said 13-year-old girl was naming 2 male celebrities, a female celebrity she actually never named, and then had the nerve to go on TV and try to recount the whole thing. And the dad said, well, I would recall driving 4 hours to go get her that night. I don't remember driving. It just, after that interview, her case fell apart. And shame on you, Busby, for not verifying her story before you filed this.
All right, I'm going to go to you, Attorney Ross. Tell me really quickly, where does the extortion play in this? And number two, and I mean, I'm just telling you how I feel. How did it get to this if it was this sloppy? How did we get this? First, let's deal with extortion, and then how do we get to this? It's, so sloppy by Busby and, really costing Jay-Z $20 million.
Well, in a simple layman's term, extortion is exactly what it sounds like, right? Busby says, I know this thing about you, and unless you pay my client, I am going to expose you and take you to court and make you pay, and everyone knows who you are, and you lose all your contracts, and you're going to lose your NFL relationships, and all these things you built up are going to go bye-bye unless you bend over to what I know. And there are some questions about what he knew, whether it was truthful or not, which ultimately led to the demise of his lawsuit being dismissed with prejudice, which means it can't be filed again. However, to respond to play devil's advocate, because I love to poke the bear on this show.
Me too.
Man,
Let's go.
does Jay-Z really want to go down this path, right? The case is now reversed. If the argument is he tried to extort money from me, he was lying, and I can prove it, what are you going to do when he tries to bring up witnesses to say that it occurred? What if new evidence becomes unfold? Yes, the case was dismissed with prejudice, but the inevitable discovery rule may apply, which means I couldn't have figured this out unless I had these other things. So do you really want to poke this bear? I understand you're upset. I understand he cast you in a false light with Diddy, and I understand that bothered you. But you got your case dismissed with prejudice. The holes are poked. Maybe you want to walk away. Maybe you want to say, you know what? I'm done. Because if something comes out that we didn't know about, you can find yourself in a difficult position, bro.
Attorney Carter, you're shaking your head. Why do I see a frown on your face on what he's saying?
Because it's her cousin. Because it's her cousin.
No, Sean Carter.
Yeah, well, I know. And my cousin, man, that's my little son. But anyway, but the point is this though, is that if you didn't do it, all right, if you sue me and say I killed JFK, I wasn't even born when he was assassinated. All right, I'm not worried about going to court. I'm taking you for everything you have because I know I didn't do that. If he knows he didn't do it, he's got nothing to worry about.
So my thing is, okay, let's ride that route right there. If he knows he didn't do it, why is he talking about money that he missed? I don't understand why he didn't say. I personally feel like I wanted to hear him say, I told y'all I didn't do it. Clearly, evidence shows I didn't do it, and let's turn the page. Attorney Turner?
I think that he's playing the short game here. I think he is. He's acting like somebody who is positive that they have nothing underneath their sheets that would be of interest to somebody like Tony Busby.
Now, how I can't agree. I can't agree. Jay-Z wasn't always a billionaire. Jay-Z wasn't always married to Beyonce. Jay-Z was very good friends with Diddy back in the day, where you saw one, you saw the other. I can't, the amount of people and access that he had to and experiences with women, there's no way you can tell me 100% that this man does not have something in his closet that he's probably very, very concerned about. And I think that's why he worked. That's why he worked so hard to distance himself from P. Diddy.
No, but that's my exact point. I think that he's playing the short-sighted game here. He's focused so much on this case with this 13-year-old that has holes in it that he's not considering whether there are other things where he's not necessarily as clean, in my opinion. So I agree with him making a fuss. I think he has to because he's probably told his daughter he didn't do it. But there were a lot of rumors swirling about Jay-Z and activity involving other people early in his career.
Okay, exactly. Okay, we got Foxy Brown says that he has been courting her when she was underage.
But Judge,
allegedly. It's not allegedly. Actually, she said it out of mouth. She did an interview.
Okay.
But I'll say allegedly to be safe here. Allegedly, I saw Foxy Brown with my eyes say that Jay-Z courted her and had relations with her when she was underage.
But I think to Shatan's point, well, and even more or less my point, this 13-year-old girl at the time, that was the worst case to lead with going against Jay-Z. If you're going to go against Jay-Z, You go against Jay-Z with a case that has less holes. And I think that was the point that even me and Brian were making. Also, for the people in the comments here and other places, they're like, oh, he must have paid someone off. Da, da, da. You can't pay somebody off in an official settlement and then turn around and sue the attorney that's
Absolutely
involved
right.
in that settlement.
Absolutely
I
right.
got
So-
it, but remember,
Wait. Why not?
Y'all try. You got
Because
okay, go ahead.
part of the settlement, you would be able to sue the lawyer that filed the lawsuit.
Sure, you can have a carve out, and they're also depending
No,
on
but
the
they
state.
wouldn't have accepted that card.
Depending on the state,
No.
you cannot go ahead and enter into a settlement agreement in exchange for dropping the claims against the lawyer. Brian, you're here with me in Florida.
But wait. But why would you? Okay, if you are settling at some level, you are admitting some sort of guilt, right? So
No.
why? Okay, you don't have to, but just follow me for a second. What I'm saying is, if you settle and you give the money to the client where the lawyer filed the lawsuit, you settle, you close this out. How can you then turn around and say, well, now I'm going to sue you, even though I paid the settlement, I'm going to sue you because this was frivolous. Clearly, it wasn't frivolous if you filed the settlement because you could have went through the trial and proved your innocence.
Well, but I think
no, it's not that easy, Attorney Carter. No,
I'm not saying it's
It
easy,
is.
but it
No,
does not
it's really
usually
not
follow.
because you got to think about it. They are $2 billion brands. Those two. They don't
they should
want.
have took it all the
Excuse
way to
me.
court.
Order. They don't want to go through weeks or months of bad press around an unstained image. Beyonce has no stains on her. She has zero. Jay-Z, as he has evolved as a father and a billionaire, zero stains. Okay.
That's the benefit of
I'm not
Beyonce.
buying he paid a dime.
No, I don't think. I
Beyonce
think.
was the equivalent of
Sagittarius
Clorox
He
for
didn't buy
Jay-Z.
it.
All right,
No.
ladies. All right, ladies. All right. Last question here, and we got to move on. All right.
One
This
quick
question
thing, though.
is for the algorithms. When a false accusation ruins someone's career to the tune of $20 million, should the accuser, like Busby, face jail time?
No, come on.
No.
No.
Lawyers.
No.
Listen, this is something. I know.
Okay, if it's not jail time, should he get an infraction on his license?
No.
It's
No.
a question of the kind of penalty as opposed to the amount. Like, to the extent that Jay-Z happened to lose $20 million, if that's true, should it matter less if Brian Ross lost $100,000? Like, it should not. So really, people should look at the lawyer's conduct to determine whether or not there should be a consequence.
Well, the reason why I ask is because if you can make up something this salacious, silly, and unwarranted, then where are the ethic codes of having your license?
The lawyer
I don't
He didn't make it
understand.
up. He just didn't
make
make
it
the
up.
story. He didn't make it up. She made it. She
But
just he just put the story that she gave. But what he didn't do, he didn't vet it the way he needed to.
Okay. All right.
And by the way, this is where, if you really want to be educational here, Rule 3.1 of the legal canon says that a lawyer should not bring a claim that's frivolous, has no basis, etc.
Right.
He had a duty, an ethical duty, to actually examine and vet the claim. If he didn't do that, he can be subject to suspension by the bar. But here's the thing about it is, I understand Jay-Z totally here. If you cost me $20 million on some nonsense, all right, I have no problem with trying to get my $20 million back from you, particularly when you run it around. You're gonna get your money. It's not like he doesn't have money. By the way, this guy, I looked him up, had $1 billion settlement in the oil case, the Horizon oil tanker.
Tony Busby.
Yeah, Tony Busby's got money. So trust me, he's actually got probably more money than Jay-Z.
And he flaunts that money between what he wears and where he flies and how he does. So it's okay. I don't feel sorry for that man.
All right, let's get this. Hold on, counselors. We got a lot talking tonight. Hold on.
We said something that wasn't right. We should
Turner. I'll let you clarify. Just give me a second. Gee, gosh. All right. Nerese Cox, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. That's how I pay my lawyers. Sonny Clark, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Nerese Cox did it twice. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to some of the comments. Somebody said, Al, you're no lawyer. Duh. I'm the judge of public opinion. That means I have feelings and I have thoughts. I don't have to be a lawyer. Delira Washington said, Brian is back. Woohoo! Danielle Cameron, one of my favorites, says, Eshatan, and I have about 10 different moisturizers. Plus, I'll definitely have to wipe up in jail. Lakers in 5 says, poke the bear anyway, Brian. Go for it. Jeanette Hunter says, poke the bear, Brian.
Poke the bear.
Venetia Brooks says, black man always should just take it and walk away quietly.
I saw that comment, Judge.
No.
Come on, what is that? What you mean we should? First of all, I'm addressing that comment as the only half Trump man in the room. That is not accurate. He just said, I'm dismissing the case. Look what it's done to my daughter. You're about to relive it now. If I'm Tony Busby, I can afford to come for your neck. I don't care about your big pimping video you made with a mink on in St. Thomas in 1997. I'm coming for your neck. I let you out. Oh, you want to go for it? I'm going to bring up a whole bunch of bimbos and girls that have been around. Trust me. You don't want this smoke.
Uh-oh.
Bring it, bro.
Taria Williams says, let's get those likes up. Sonia Zolokoffer says, nah, you fight. All right, everybody. Excellent discussion here. So I'm going to leave this question right here. Guilty or not guilty right now? Let's make the verdict right now. Algorithm, go down in the chat.
Guilty or what? We can clarify.
Is Busby guilty or not guilty for trying to ruin Jay-Z's life? Throw in the chat. Is Busby guilty or not guilty for trying to ruin Jay-Z's life? Throw it down in the chat. All right, let's keep it going.
I can't clarify my point.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Get to clarify, Attorney Carter.
The only thing I wanted to clarify was the point Attorney Weiss was trying to make, but we didn't flesh it out enough. The reason why the lawyer can't settle in the agreement to drop their own claims is an ethical one. They have a duty to zealously represent their client separate from their own interests from a fiduciary perspective. So I can't be at the same time saying, well, look out for me. So that's why those are not included in the settlement agreements. And so it's unorthodox, but it's not something that to sue a lawyer after the case, but they're separate issues. But I do agree with the female attorney, Carter, that it gets more complicated if you do that, because you can use the evidence that the case wasn't dismissed to show that the claim wasn't frivolous.
Sonia said, please let her clarify. We did. Abby NYC, I agree. Busby needs to slow down and dot his I's and cross his T's. This man has probably been talked about more in these last 4 or 5 months than he has in his entire
life.
This is marketing at the level 20,000. All right, speaking of ruined lives, reports suggest that Kanye and Bianca are seeking divorce lawyers amid financial strain and the fact that no prenuptial agreement exists. Kanye allegedly has amassed substantial debt and she don't like it. Representatives deny the rumors, but the absence of a prenuptial agreement raises questions about asset division. Fresh off the press of a divorce and dividing assets, we're going to ask Attorney Shatan Turner, to step into this space and tell us, how can couples protect their financial assets before and during a marriage?
Well, I might have some experience with this. So there are several ways to protect your assets. Some are like in the weeds financially in terms of like everybody, I'm sure the alligators know, like put your name in your mama's name, like put your house in your mama's name and all those kinds of things that people have done at the beginning of time because they don't want their assets to be attacked by the government or by, a competitor or by their spouse. So there are those kinds of creative accounting and ownership techniques that can be used. The other thing that people talk about routinely with marriages is the concept of a prenuptial agreement where you agree in advance on the terms of the ending of the marriage before you get married. Mm-hmm. Now, some people don't like the concept of a prenuptial agreement because they think that it's not romantic. What's really not romantic is paying an MF who didn't earn the money when you don't want to. So embrace the concept of a prenuptial agreement. And often people focus on it as something that's only for the rich. And I was talking to somebody about this recently, and they're like, maybe they got it all wrong, right? I was an economics major, I've done a lot of research on people with prudent financial planning. And they talk about save for 6 months for a rainy day and all of these kinds of things, but nobody really talks about the asset protection in the event that your marriage fails. And the reason they should do it with middle class people and upper middle class people, even more so than the very rich, is because if you're a billionaire and somebody takes half, you still have $500,000, so you're still rich, right? If you're a 50,000aire and somebody takes half, you have $25,000 after that. You're not living the same.
Right.
And so that's why, as the algoriters, as you contemplate your lives, consider who you're going to marry. You know, another thing is don't marry somebody who has less than you do. This little Bianca girl, you know, she's got a great body, as we all got to observe during the Grammys, right? But she ain't got no real money. And so Kanye got with somebody who had less than he had. And so now he's a target, but allegedly he has all of these debts. And with the dissolution of marriage, you split the debts equally as well as the assets. Now, another tool that can be used besides a prenuptial agreement is a postnuptial agreement. So after you're in love, you can ask the person to sign an agreement about the assets. But I think that's even less romantic than it is beforehand. Like, I think your best shot at getting anything from another person is when they love you, preferably when you're in bed and they just had a great sensation.
Oh, wow.
And you pull out the paper and a pen and you say, hey, how about we just figure out what it's going to be like as we continue this relationship?
Okay, I got
I called your ass on that one. I called your ass.
Let me go to the men on the panel who are actually still married. Let's go to the men. Let's get some advice from the men that are actually married. Fellas, any advice? Sonny Clark says Kanye looks like he stinks.
If you got something to protect beforehand, then a prenup is the way to go. If you were like me when you got married and all I had was law school debt, there was no need for a prenup because she could have half my debt. I have no problem with that.
All right, Ross.
I got to tell you, Shaitan, I didn't watch the Grammys this year. I just kind of quickly Googled his wife's outfit because you said that. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I stopped paying attention to whatever you guys were talking about. So let me rewind that and come back to life. Yeah, I had the same problem as Jason. I had law school debt. She could have had half that. I want to pay my half and her half. So technically, and you know what, Jason, you might have jogged a great point. Maybe Kanye realizes, you know, he ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke figures. So he realizes that, hey, if I break up with her with no prenup, I just got my Adidas money, right?
Right.
So if I get a bunch of American Express cards and run the bill up, she might just booger off with a quick 10 million and call it a day, right? This might be a strategy. He's crazy, but there's always a method to the madness.
That's madness. I agree.
Sleep,
Attorney Carter, what you think, sir?
I took a look at the California law here, and it's not great for her. Now, the fact that he's lost money since he's poor since he married her, right? Because he lost all these contracts, but it doesn't mean she has half his debt. She doesn't have that, all right? Because that stuff he did himself is on his own. His brand is worth less, but he brought that brand in. The question is, can she get some alimony, some maintenance payments? And the weird thing is in California, if you've not been married for 10 years, you only get generally half of the length of the marriage of payment. So if she's been married to him for 1 year, she gets 6 months of allowance. And then she's out.
But you can have it up front.
6 months can be pretty big. Exactly. Now 6 months can be pretty big because they live in La Vida naked. But you know, she can take half her clothes out of the marriage, and Attorney Ross can appreciate that. It ain't a lot. But that's
you got an outfit on
a whole lot. She's not vested. In California, you got to kind of be there for a little while.
They've only been married for 2 years. December 20th.
Okay, so she can get about a year of allowances and private jets.
I think he's over her. I think he's over her. I think he's exploited her enough. I think he wants to move now to someone that he's going to allow to talk. He sees Rihanna with her power couple. She sees Jay-Z and Beyonce as power couples. I think it's time for him to mix it up. All right, really quickly. Let me hold on, please, 1 second. Give me lawyers, attorneys, give me a strategy for people when they enter a marriage and there is a lot of debt by someone else. So, if the man is the breadwinner and he's bringing a wife into the marriage, how do you safeguard yourself from those type of exposure?
I don't have the big legal analysis. I'll leave this to the brain trust. But my advice to you is don't do it, bro. Break up. Get the heck out of there, Dodge. If you come in making 7 figures and she got a bunch of credit card debt and student loan debt, get a new one. And you can get a new one real quick. There's a lot out here when you're at that tax bracket.
Or or Attorney Turner, should you pay her debt off before you get married?
That's what I was going to say. I would, depending, unless she's got a big crack habit, like if she's just got some shopping debt and she has the kind of money that Attorney Ross said, that would be the consideration for the prenup, right? And then say, I don't pay you anything else if it ends. And so I think that's actually a power position, to tell you the truth. And everybody wins, right? So then they're only together if it's true love. She doesn't have any of her debt, right? And her request from him would be, will you pay my bills while we're together? I mean, that's gonna be mine the next time. If I
you
ever
better look like Naomi Campbell in that Michael Jackson video. All
right, everybody. Here's the question.
Ryan Ross, I stay at the gym because I'm trying to.
All right, listen to me, Attorney Turner. Oh my Lord, y'all gonna drive me to drink it tonight. All right, this is a question for the outgraders. If you were worth billions, would you marry someone without a prenup if they were only worth a couple of $100,000 or even a couple of thousand?
Never know.
All right. What's the question? That's the question. If you were worth billions, would you marry someone without a prenup if they were only worth a couple of $100? All right. This is
$100.
Like,
well, you know what I'm saying? She don't got no money. What was her job? What was her job before this?
Someone put in the comments she used to work for you.
Yeah, she was an architect. She's an architect.
She worked for Kanye.
Yeah, but she was an architect for Kanye. She wasn't a dancer.
I'm going to ask again. Right. What did she do?
She was an architect. She built some incredible shit in Australia. He brought her over to the U.S. because he liked her building and stuff. So she's not a.
So now she's building on him.
She has mom.
No, really think. Let me see the degree, please, because I went to architecture school. I need to see it. All right, really quickly. Hold your thoughts. Really quickly. Hold your thoughts, please. If no prenup is in play, is Kanye West guilty or not guilty of being negligent? Drop it down in the chat, please.
He was a fool.
If no prenup is in play, is Kanye guilty or not guilty of being negligent?
Guilty.
All right, everybody. Speaking of being negligent, the likes aren't liking. Please do me a favor and our panel of legal beagles. Can you please hit that like button? Also, please hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, please hit the share button and invite some friends over here to witness these crazy lawyers right here. All right, turn on your notifications, and as always, continue to jump down in the comments because we love to know that you're a part of the show. All right, next up, speaking of negligent, A$AP Rocky is accused of firing a semi-automatic handgun at A$AP rally in 2021. Rihanna attended the trial with their children, as well as the prosecution claims, guess what? It's a real gun. It's not a prop gun. The defense insists it was a prop gun. Rocky faces up to 24 years as if convicted, and what we found out on Friday is the trial is over. All right, I'm going to throw to Attorney Sean Carter. Talk to me about this case and tell me, what's the sentiment out here? Do we think he's innocent or do we think he's guilty?
I mean, this is a classic case, really, of he said. All right. So the prosecutors, they went to trial. They went to closing arguments. The closing arguments were like, look, it's a real gun. Our witness here says he was shot at, and believe us. And Rocky says, no, it's prop gun. And you know, I had it on a movie set. I carried it around because you know people all at me on these streets, and therefore, but I wouldn't hurt nobody. I wouldn't hurt a fly. That's what it's going to come down to. Now, the interesting to me though was the part that Rihanna's playing in this, because even the prosecutor came after Riri, and he said basically she too cute to be up in here, Your Honor. I'm not kidding. Literally, he said you got to instruct the jury that even though they're all wearing her drawers right now, they still need to evaluate the evidence. I'm not kidding. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not really. That's what he said. He said, you know, we're concerned that everybody loved him some Riri so much that they're not going to evaluate Rocky. So tell them specifically, take the drawers off, wear some, you know, bloomers and some Fruit of the Loom when they do the deliberation, because otherwise they. And I'm not kidding. And it's bizarre to me how somehow Rihanna got dragged into this. She ain't shoot nobody, right? She at home just being.
I have to say, from the court of public opinion, it's working. We don't want we don't want anything related to Rihanna to be negatively impacted. Attorney Ross, I want to ask you this. It took them longer to bring and drag him into court than it did in trying the case. Is this short period of time signifying what the result may be?
No, you can never determine it that way. You know, 100+ jury trials in, there are times where I saw jurors come back days later on a case I thought would be over real quick. And then there's times where I thought, wow, this is going to be a very tough decision for them to make. And they came back in like after lunch, an hour or so. So that amount of time isn't indicative of anything. You have to sit there and let the process run its course and wait for them to come back. I mean, that's it. There's no way around it.
Attorney Carter, the female Attorney Carter.
Yes. I'm going to give you my 2 cents about Rihanna.
All right, go ahead.
My 2 cents about Rihanna is I actually interviewed a criminal law attorney today. And she said that's actually her number one strategy for her clients, because if you can't have your own baby mama, kids, family in there supporting you, it gives the impression that maybe you did do it. If you don't even have family to come in and support you, it does give the impression to the jury that maybe you do have some guilt. And
Attorney Turner.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Attorney Turner, let me ask you this. Am I the only one, guys, that feel this whole prop gun scenario, this whole prop gun theory is a crock of crap? Why is a grown man who dates a billionaire toting around a prop gun?
Well,
It's not making any sense.
Here's the better question. Male attorney Carter. Was there any medical record? Because I didn't see this. Was there any medical record to show that he was hurt by a real bullet, kind of like with Megan Thee Stallion? There's always about who shot her, but at the end of the day, it was a medical record that there were actual bullet fragments. Were there bullet fragments? I think it grazed his hand.
Right, exactly. But to my knowledge, no, we don't have any doctors saying they was treated for a bullet wound. Remember, A$AP Rocky out in these streets. He out in these streets. He can't be going to the hospital. He gotta go to
This is what's so interesting to me. I have 5 attorneys here, and none of y'all answered my question. What is a grown man doing carrying a prop gun?
He said it was from his movie set.
Why are you playing in your wife's toys on her movie set?
He's really not about that life. This is what we've been talking about.
Y'all better stop playing with me.
All these
Y'all better stop playing with me
carrying a real gun.
Also, now he's probably in her wardrobe too, playing in her clothes.
You know what I'm saying is, would you have preferred him carrying a real gun versus a prop gun?
Yes.
No, he
looks like an entire punk to me, walking around with a prop gun, trying to be a gangster, talking about how hard he is.
He looks like an entire punk with all that detailed braiding in his hair.
What if we said on this show, when you got all that money and you got all that fame, you could afford to have somebody do it for you? And that's and attorney Sean Carter said that, and I second that. And this just makes no sense. This is
Look,
just
all I'm saying is when you're that rich, you're that young, you're that influential, you're not carrying around a prop gun. You're not doing it. It's not Halloween.
You are that stupid. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. Money does not buy sense, but apparently someone taught Rihanna the secret for how you make your man look good if you happen to be caught up in some ghetto-ish, even though you're a billionaire. And what you do is you show up pretty and you bring your babies to court. And when you do that, that helps to legitimize him and make him not look like the thug fool that he looks like with that hairdo, and instead make him look like a father and a pillar of the community.
Absolutely.
And I say, yes, go Riri, go.
I agree. I think Riri really is the one. In the public opinion, I think Riri saved him.
Well, let's help the algorithm here.
Stop it.
I really do. I really do.
Well, but let's help the algorithms here because most of y'all not Riri. All right, you show up with Cooper and Ray Ray, it ain't gonna work out as well. All right, tell that fool to not have a prop gun.
All right, Taria Williams, we're sorry you got to go. She says, I have to go. Have a good rest of the show. I have a brief to write. Good night, everyone. Hit that like button. Thank you. Danielle Kelvin says, hell, I'm broke, but I'm calling Junebug and Pookie and them to handle this problem. Jeanette Hunter says, ASAP mentality is still in the hood. Nope, people in the hood do not carry prop guns. I'm just telling you.
So I want to know: is he walking away from this, or is he doing?
All right, that's the question for the algorithms and everybody. So is ASAP Rocky guilty or not guilty? Now listen, everybody. Now we're talking about, do you think he did it or not? All right, not do we want him to go to jail?
No,
right?
I want to know what is the jury going to come back.
Huh?
I want them to predict how's the jury coming back, guilty or not.
Okay,
guilty.
how's the jury? The jury, Idada said not guilty. SL said he's walking.
Algoriters, as you answer this question, ponder this for a second, right? If his defense is one, yes, I shot at him, but it was not with a real gun. It was a prop gun. Right. Then why didn't you produce the prop gun for the jury to examine?
Oh,
and isn't
the
it
second problem you have? The second problem you have is if in fact you're saying it was a prop gun, right, not a real gun, then how can you then therefore attack his character and call him a liar and say it didn't happen? Your defenses are logically inconsistent. The moment you decide that the gun was not a prop gun, he is then guilty of something.
100%.
Well, and let's go another step. This is how crazy. No, I thought about this.
If it's a prop gun, because even if a rubber bullet hits me, isn't that still assault?
It's assault.
But it's not assault.
Yeah, but he wasn't charged with
an automatic weapon.
Yeah, the anticipation.
Well, but here's the thing: is to me though, think about how crazy this is. You can use a prop gun to try to threaten someone, but you can't fire it.
Yeah.
Once you fire it and there are no bullets coming out, you don't have a gun anymore.
Well, that was I was going to say, Attorney Carter.
You don't fire a prop gun at somebody.
Can we get the attorneys back on the main stage, please? Because I'm liking this conversation. Thank you.
That's the part that doesn't make sense. It's not the part that he had the prop gun, Al, or Your Honor. It's not the possession of the prop gun that's the faulty part of the story. The faulty part of the story is what Attorney Carter just said. Because it's a fake gun. So what are you doing with the fake gun?
Right.
People, right? Because they might have a real one. So
So what's the point?
What's the point?
None of this makes any sense. And I think we're not thinking logically about it because we all want Rihanna to win.
I don't care if she wins.
He should have taken the plea. That's it. He should have taken the plea.
Wanted to be single, but that's just me. But go ahead, y'all. You
I want the lawyers on the panel to clarify: if you shoot a prop gun and rubber bullets come out and hit someone's hand, it's not assault with a deadly weapon.
No, let me finish. Can I address it? Can I say it, please?
Yeah.
If you shoot a fake gun,
yes,
one of little BB guns from Kmart or whatever, Walmart, and it shoots the person, that is a simple battery.
Okay, but it's still a crime.
The damages now, if it results in something else, that is not assault with a deadly weapon because the weapon isn't deadly. I had a case 10 years ago where a man walked into a 7-Eleven and threatened the clerk with a gun that was cement was in the gun. It could not fire. So when the prosecutor charged him with assault with a deadly weapon. I produced the weapon and showed that it had cement in it, and therefore it just turned into a different crime. It wasn't punishable by life. So if he had the gun, right, why not just turn it over?
Right.
Turn the gun
But
over.
Tammy,
the prosecutor should have added
unfiltered.
additional charges.
Oh Lord, the ladies always overtalk. I have no
I-
problems with the men. They don't
Fired
ever
up tonight, boy.
overtalk. The ladies are chatty catty. They always overtalk.
Fired up.
All right, Tammy Unfiltered said, "Hey, Brian is back. Woohoo!"
What's up, Tammy?
Jay Wadley said, "If the prop gun has a fake bullet that kills someone, how is that different than a real bullet?" Well,
by the
fake
way,
bullet can't kill nobody.
No,
sir.
and I just look at this, and by the way, prop guns do not shoot projectiles; they just do smoke. Right? That is the point. So think about it. You sitting there, you're trying to hold somebody up. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna hurt you." Once you fire that prop gun, they know you have nothing. You might as well be sitting there with your wee in your hand. You got
Let me
nothing.
ask you this. I don't understand how
It's probably a real gun.
in the last 15 minutes debunked this entire trial, which is a national trial, gave them solutions and answers to everything going on. And those billion-dollar lawyers in those courtrooms couldn't get that man charged. I don't understand it.
I just want Rihanna to have her baby daddy home.
See?
Oh,
Crazy.
But if she don't want him no more, then she should just like let him go. She should call him like they said people were doing with the immigrants and sending their husband down to Home Depot.
Oh God!
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I did not know that was going on. Wow. That is some diabolical, like, hey, baby, I need you to give me a favor, baby. Go down to Home Depot. You can
tell she wants revenge. You can tell she wants revenge.
Brian, you've been in Peru too long. That story hit a week ago.
Oh, man.
I know. All right, everybody. Last case of the night. Boy, oh boy.
No.
Another professional athlete bites the dust. NFL player Kadarius Toney was arrested on charges of aggravated assault after allegedly strangling a woman and prevented her from calling 911. He was released on bond the next day, and this continues a troubling pattern in his career. Attorney Rice, what is going on here? And let me ask this very pointed question because I want our algorithms to understand. What are the legal standards for proving aggravated assault?
So aggravated assault is that you need there are a couple of different ways. You can have intentional act of violence. You can have a deadly weapon or object used. There's a threat of serious bodily injury. And these are all the things that, there's a potential for serious injury. The New York Giants had a guy years ago. It was Plaxico Burress. They called him Can't Do Right because that guy couldn't do anything right. Well, now they have Can't Do Right 2, who's also an ex-Giant, and it's Toney, right? So he's getting charged for choking this woman, and he's getting charged for not letting her go ahead and call 911. Two separate charges, $25,000 bond on each charge, and I'm calling it right now. He will probably never play again in the NFL because Roger Goodell is going to put a stop to it. And it doesn't matter if he comes out of this clean. He's now got problems with the NFL. And look, this guy was a Gator, so I was rooting for him. And then he went to the Giants, so I was rooting for him even more. And this guy just can't get out of his own way. And he's got some legal problems.
Attorney Ross, if you were representing him, what would you be talking? Who would you be talking to, and what would you be saying?
Do you want the truth or do you want the lie?
Can I bring my lawyers back on stage, please? Yeah. Yes, the truth.
We always want the truth.
No, you can't handle the truth. Let me tell you. The truth is, you got your private investigator, Jason, starting out your head, reaching out to this girl, saying, "Look, baby, you go to keys to a Bentley.
Yep.
You go a nice little house on South Beach, little 2-2.
Yep.
You go a bag of money.
Yep.
I know if this happens. This I just did, and we need you to sign this little paper called a non-prosecutorial affidavit. We're gonna get over to the prosecutor, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna send you, your mama, and all your sisters to the Bahamas for the next 90 days.
And get your Birkin bag. Everybody gets one.
Birkin bag for everybody. Kadarius gonna walk in there like, "What you mean? I got a call for $100,000."
Yeah, but he don't have the money. That's the thing. He's been cut from every team, so he doesn't have that kind of money.
You better sell that Lamborghini Urus, boy,
Yep.
and get that money and figure it out.
You better figure it out.
Your goal is to, as the defense lawyer, you don't want this case in front of a jury. You don't want the judge dealing with it. Your job is to mitigate, get her out of here, make her sign a release. Boom, 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 done. The DA says announces sometime in late March, we're dismissing the case. Now we let the union fight to get you back in the league if you have a chance. If she
All right,
starts
Attorney
talking-
Carter, the female.
This
Attorney
isn't
Carter,
Georgia.
Attorney Carter, the female. What would you be arguing?
Well, this reminds me of the Aaron Hernandez case when Jason said at this point it doesn't matter. It's like he's bad goods, because at one point Aaron Hernandez had one of his cases actually reversed.
Yep.
So he was on the high scale, like, oh, I'm going to fight this next case, and then he ends up, allegedly committing suicide. But I see him like an Aaron Hernandez. Like he can't get out of his own way. He's getting cut from all these teams. He has a bad reputation. Everybody knows that the NFL has what? A morality clause. So once you do certain things, you just can't simply come back from it, even if you're found innocent. It's like you are tainted goods, bad goods, and because of that morality clause, yeah, he as Erica James says on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, he's done. Okay,
He's done.
He's
He
done.
is.
All right, Algorators. The question lies. The
Wrong.
Algorators. The question lies with you. Should athletes accused of domestic violence be banned from playing until proven innocent?
Accused?
Should athletes accused of domestic violence be banned from playing until proven innocent? Algorators, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Okay, back to the lawyer's last question. How can victims protect themselves when the abuser holds wealth and influence? Because according to Brian Ross's strategy, the wealth and influence could actually trump the truth and the harm of the assault, right?
He's going to get his good, Jason.
How can you protect yourself?
That wealth is going to go to the victim. That wealth is being used as a punishment. That is going to be a punitive damages to that victim. So that victim will look. I'm not saying any amount of money will make that go right, but she could sleep a little bit better, dress a little bit better, and have a little bit better of a lifestyle.
Put your kids in better schools.
Oh my God!
Your mom.
I'm crying in Paris, and I'm crying in the Lamborghini. I'm crying in Paris, and I'm crying
Attorney
in
Ross was not
Right.
suggesting that she wasn't safe. So I don't think that we should presume that the scenario that he mentioned was compromising her safety. What he was saying was that there might be another
Ooh, he is ugly.
later other than getting a conviction. But I think that you bring up an interesting point, Your Honor, which is how do we protect women as a whole? Because what Attorney Ross did not include
Victims, not just women. Victims.
what he did not include was
Uh-oh.
any kind
Get
of
him to time. Get him.
for the offender, right? So we'll just assume for the sake of argument, not him, but some other player, it's absolutely true, right? If it's absolutely true, then people who should care about him need to put him in a program. So what I think the NFL players, what they need to do, one, they should call me because I'll negotiate it. I won't date them, but I'll take anybody's money for this kind of thing. And, put them in a program that says, I have a problem, right? I'm getting help for that problem. And this helps with the morality clause that Attorney Carter was mentioning. And then also, I'm going to make restitution. So send them down there, have them at the women's shelter and doing volunteer work and all that kind of stuff. Because if the problem's not checked, then you do run into the Aaron Hernandez issue, which is nobody intervened early. It just morphed out.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I got you. Show me the picture of this gentleman again.
Pawn some of those.
I don't need him at no women's battered shelter. No,
man.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, I don't need him. He is scary. I don't need him at a women's shelter. I don't want him at the women's shelter. He looks scary to me.
I don't know. I think he got and maybe and Attorney Ross probably know this better, but I think there should be a defense, a not guilty by reason of ugly. If I look like that, I'd be choking everybody. I don't know about you, but
I
I'd be
know why
choking,
he's mad. He got to
choking
be
my mom
mad.
and daddy for sure.
He is
They're gonna
real
get choked
mad.
out.
All right,
Like-
Danielle Cameron said, Brian, I'm gonna need your services when I steal these eggs.
Egg prices are so high. We better keep talking about the egg prices. But you know the Audis, they $5.
But you can only find
In New York, eggs are $10.
Yeah,
In New York,
Dude,
eggs are
I was
$9.
listen.
The other
Listen.
stores is like $10.
Y'all being lied to. I was just in Peru 24 hours ago. There was no egg shortage. It was no egg shortage. They had a lot of shortages, but eggs wasn't one of them.
Well, maybe an American problem.
All
I'm
right,
the-
everybody.
I'm taking care of chickens in the backyard.
All right, is Kadarius guilty or not guilty? Drop down in the chat. Is Kadarius guilty or not guilty?
He's guilty.
Guilty by ugly.
All right, okay, everybody. Before we get into the verdict from our panel, I would like for you to please do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit the share button. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. And thank you for always jumping down in the chat and letting me know that you are enjoying this show. And I want to thank all of the lawyers who have joined us tonight. Thank you for making my Monday and my apology and promising to produce a good show come to fruition. All right, this is the part of the show where we go back over the cases and decide if they're guilty or not guilty. First up, Jay-Z, is he guilty or not guilty in the court of public opinion of paying off his accusers? Attorney Ross,
I'm gonna go with not guilty right now.
Attorney Turner,
not guilty.
Attorney Carter,
Not guilty because it doesn't track.
Attorney Weiss,
Not guilty.
Attorney Sean Carter.
Not guilty. You don't pay off the person and then sue the person who you paid off for taking the bribe. That's
All
not how
right,
that
I'm
works.
Alan. I'm the judge here in the court of public opinion. In court of public opinion, I think people believe that he paid somebody off. We're going to find Jay-Z guilty. Guilty of using your power and influence to get this not guilty or thing thrown out. Next up, Kanye West.
Getting outvoted by
Kanye
everybody.
West. Is Kanye West guilty or not guilty of trying to get out of his marriage by claiming he's broke? Attorney Ross, what say you?
Classic Sanford and Son. Bum, 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 bum. Way to get out of a marriage. He is definitely guilty of a brilliant play, Kanye.
Attorney Turner?
Kanye is just doing what he's got to do. He's not guilty. Everybody getting divorced has the right to defend themselves.
Attorney Carter, Ashley?
That's my money, right?
I say, yeah, I think it's a ploy. So I think he's guilty. I think
Guilty.
it's a ploy.
All right, Attorney Weiss.
Not guilty based on insanity.
All right, Attorney Carter.
He's guilty of not having 20/20 vision or 20/80 vision for that woman too fine to divorce. Work it out, Kanye. Work it out.
She ain't got on no slip. What you talking about? All right. I'm Ellen. I'm the
You
judge here
don't
in
wear
court of-
one.
It's Celebrity Court of
She don't
Public
wear
Opinion.
nothing.
And I'm going to find Kanye West guilty of being smart. I think it's all a ploy. I think he's ready for an upgrade. He wants someone who's hotter and more exciting. Next up, ASAP Rocky. Is ASAP Rocky guilty?
Why are you laughing?
Is ASAP Rocky guilty or not guilty of carrying a toy gun to fight in street battles? I'm done. Attorney Ross, is he guilty or not guilty?
He is not guilty. He shot at that man. He shot at that man. Ain't no toy gun. You shot at that man. A joke went too far.
Attorney Turner, is he guilty or not guilty?
I'm going to say he's guilty of carrying a toy gun because I want him home with his babies. And
Oh, God, I can't. Move on. Attorney Weiss.
He's guilty of not taking the plea that was offered to him.
All right,
What was
Attorney
the offer?
Carter. Ashley Carter, Attorney Carter.
I think he's guilty of carrying a prop gun. I don't think he had a real gun.
Attorney Sean Carter.
Yeah, he's guilty, but he's gonna get off by reason of Riri.
I agree. I'm Alan. I'm the judge here. And I'm going to find him guilty. That boy did something. Y'all are not going to have me convinced that he is playing in his wife's toy closet.
Out of all the toys she has, that's the one that he takes.
Toting around her guns for the sake of fun, because he's going to go out in the streets and he's going to intimidate people with the toy gun. Not a damn bit of that makes sense. Not at all.
The witness is not credible.
Absolutely not. Okay, last but not least, is Kadarius Toney guilty or not guilty of beating that lady up? Attorney Ross, what say you?
Good Lord. I mean, just I have to go with innocent until proven guilty, but man.
Attorney Turner?
Can we find him guilty of being unattractive? Was that the option? I don't know.
Attorney Ashley Carter?
I'll go with Brian. Innocent until proven guilty.
Attorney Weiss?
Guilty of being a dumb arse.
All right, Attorney Sean Carter.
He's guilty of dropping that ball. If he had still played well, the NFL will have some sympathy. The NFL does not have to, by the way, you don't have to be found guilty in the court of law for the NFL to suspend you on the morality clause. So he is gone. You should have caught some more balls, brother. You gone.
All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in the court of public opinion of Celebrity Court, and we're going to find him guilty of something. Guilty of something. Guilty of being a bad player. Guilty of being a bad lover. Guilty of doing stupid shit. Okay? That's what I got to say as it relates to guilt. All right, guys, we've seen it all tonight. We've seen icons accused. We've seen athletes get arrested, families shattered, and justice paid for in millions. But what does it all mean? Does fame shield the guilty, or does it paint a bigger target on their back? Are we seeing justice served, or are we just watching power players disguised as legal battles? What happens when the cameras are off? When the checks clear? When the victims are forgotten and the accused returns back to the red carpet? This is more than just celebrity gossip. This is our culture. This is our justice system and our future. I'll leave you with this. Is the price of justice determined by your bank account or your skin color? You decide. Until next time, this is Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, and court is adjourned.
Bye, everyone.